and welcome to this episode of Think Tank Thursday. I'm Candy Kelly, and I'm excited to be your host for this week. Thank you for taking time out of your busy days to join us this week. Before I jump in, we always have to show some love to our 2022 Think Tank partners. Without them, we would not be able to bring these episodes to you guys every week with all of this great information, tips, and meeting all types of interesting people from all over our industry. So thank you to Redemption Plus, Simnox, Embed, Party Center Software, and Betson for your support. As everyone knows, on Thursdays, Trainertainment likes to take a little bit of time away from the doing and spend some time thinking. And I'm so excited about the guest that we will be thinking with today. He's a little new to the industry, but has some background in it, and we'll get into all of that. So everyone, welcome David Lugo. Welcome. Thank you for taking time to come.
No, of course. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited. It was really good spending time with you guys in Texas. And now I'm really excited to be chatting with you today.
Yeah, awesome. So why don't you take a few minutes and tell everyone kind of who you are, what role you're in at the moment, and then I want to get into kind of like what brought you here, because you have dabbled in the industry in the past as well.
Yeah, most definitely. It was definitely on a different side of the street, a same industry going in the same direction, but on the other side of the road. I was in operations for quite some time. But before we start into a little bit about who I am, if you wouldn't mind, I would love to show you a card trick.
I would love that. You know, I'm all into that after me.
Well, what I need for you to do is to tell me when to stop. I'll riffle through the cards, and then you just say stop whenever you gotta wait for me to be ready. Okay. You can't just blurt out the stop. All right, now we are good to go. Let's go.
Stop.
Right there's good?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna close my eyes.
Oh,
now my eyes are closed.
I got it now. I can see it now. The glare's off of it. I see what it is.
Cool. Eyes are closed. I'm gonna put the card back away. I'm going to give the deck a cut over here on this side of the road. Okay. Now, when you said stop, the deck was like almost at the halfway point. Now, what that means about you is that you're a very confident and loving person. The suit that is associated with that type of person is the heart. So I'm going to assume, I'm going to say you grabbed a heart for sure. I don't even need to think about it. Now, what was your card? What I want you to do is I want you to answer these questions in your mind, not out loud. All right? Don't say anything out loud. Cat or dog? Okay, so it's a high card. Walking or driving? Okay, so you grabbed the Queen of Hearts.
That is correct.
Yeah. Sorry, just a little cross-screen mind reading card trick for you to start us off. And so like you said, my name is David Lugo. I am the VR guy with the fro. I started in the entertainment industry at a pretty young age. I was lucky enough to be an actor at Sleuth's Mystery Dinner Theater in Orlando, where they have 25 different stories that you can go and watch. There's over 50 different actors that play the 5 different roles. So you can go a whole bunch of times, see the exact same show, but it'd be a little bit different. Directly across the street from Sleuth's Mystery Dinner Theater is where the Orlando Eye was being built. The Orlando Eye is the giant wheel in Orlando that's attached to this Madame Tussauds and the Sea Life Aquarium.
They call it Icon Park now, don't they?
It is called Icon Park. It has gone through several changes of name since the Orlando Eye. So that company is Merlin Entertainments. While they were building it, it was, an incredible structure. I went over there to take a look, and I saw a hiring sign, and was like, what an opportunity it would be to open an attraction. I always thought that would be really, really cool, being one of the first people on the ground floor of something and watching it and helping it get built. So I applied, and I ended up as a champagne host for their Orlando Eye Wheel. I would go in the capsule with a group, and I would explain what they're looking at while they're kind of doing their sky tour, and I'd pour champagne. I was one of the first 5-star reviews that ever came in for the Merlin Entertainment's Orlando Eye, and then shortly was offered a role in street sales where I would kind of hype up the energy surrounding the Orlando Eye. And I think that that kind of helped me build what I was able to do later in life, which is create energy and transfer the information that I was lucky enough to have, that I knew other people didn't have, like how inexpensive the Orlando Eye was to actually ride, how it's not a thrill ride as it might seem, it being so high in the air. It goes really, really slow. It feels like an elevator. And that's just something that I was able to do that really helped the Orlando Eye with sales. And I'd go around International Drive and I'd hawk people down just to talk to them about the Orlando Eye. From there, someone in Georgia at the Legoland Discovery Center heard about a guy in Orlando who had this awesome energy, who was building a great team, who was able to like transfer his energy from in his brain into his team and let them go do the exact same thing. So they offered me a role as their admissions manager.
Okay.
So I packed up my family and we moved to Georgia, and I started working for Legoland Discovery Center Atlanta. And after 2 or 3 months, they had moved me from admissions into commercial. So I was now in charge of almost all the revenue being brought into the Discovery Center, whether it was through the retail store, the cafe, or the photo department, and admissions as well. So that was kind of my introduction to the family entertainment industry, or family entertainment center industry, going from a small theater to this gigantic attraction that was now on International Drive, one of the hottest tourist locations ever, and then being transferred into another kind of busy community, but something that was very, very dialed into a brand. The Lego brand, I mean, they probably are the best at it, in my opinion, as far as everything inside the attraction relating back to the Lego product in general, creating that, I don't know, that thought process of, I see this, I can create this, I go and create this, meaning that they purchase something from the store at the end of their little trip. So that was my introduction into the field. Shortly after Legoland, maybe a year and a half into that role as commercial manager, my dad got cancer. So I moved from Georgia back to Orlando, where I was from, and kind of started doing youth development. So I was in the Lego brand for so long. I had been working with kids. That was, you know, a part of my life now that I didn't want to let go. So I joined a local YMCA as a referee for sports, shortly became the head referee, then became the sports coordinator. And then the Frank DeLuca YMCA in Ocala, Florida, heard about a guy who had this awesome energy, who was building up sports programs at the YMCA in Orlando. And they offered me a role as their sports director. So I moved out to Ocala and brought the family with me, and had been working in youth development, building programs, sports, training in basketball, soccer, volleyball. Pretty much if you could play it with a ball, we were doing it at my YMCA. And then COVID-19 hit and shut all youth development down. And the YMCA, being a nonprofit, was, you know, one of the very first people to make that decision on, hey, we're a nonprofit, we can't afford to keep anybody. So they shut all of their doors. But luckily, I had made a lot of connections in Ocala. You would never guess it, but all the parents of YMCA kids are real estate agents.
All of them? Just all of them.
Every single one of them. So I had a great opportunity to, I had made all of these connections with parents, and they were like real bonds between the parent who had been in the sports program for that year. I had seen their kid evolve from never touching a ball to excelling potentially in that particular sport. So when I joined a couple small businesses here in Ocala, and I would connect them with real estate agents that were selling homes, home inspectors, roofers, the pest control, anything in that realm that a real estate agent might touch. I was reaching out to people I knew. Hey, I just saw you post something about the home. I have a pest control buddy who works in that area, and he's doing a special right now. If you would be interested, he could get you a really good deal on a termite treatment for that property. And that I ended up growing a huge passion for helping these small business owners that didn't have time to market themselves. And at the time, while I was doing it, I didn't even realize that I was marketing and selling for them. I, in my mind, was like, oh yeah, I can connect you with this person who has the thing that
You're
need.
being a great connector.
Absolutely. And like that, I discovered that is a large part of marketing and sales.
Yes.
So I'm now, I don't know, 2 years into the small business world of Ocala, hosting networking events, bringing business owners of like mind together to have conversations with each other and discover how to do better business together. And I'm scrolling through LinkedIn, as LinkedIn is one of the areas that I browse often. And a friend of mine had tagged me in Bob Cooney's post. Bob Cooney was asking for a high energy, charismatic, someone who's good at processes and sales. And my friend tagged me in there and said, Bob, you must meet David Lugo. So I kind of watched the video, shot Bob a message. It sounded like a really cool opportunity. I loved what I was doing in Ocala, but what he was presenting was the option to do that, but on a national level. And to travel into communities and find those individuals that might touch the virtual reality world and see if I can start a conversation, see if I can make any of those connections between some of the card reader systems that I know now and some of the awesome trainers who train the entertainment world, and connect them with people who at the moment don't have time to do that. So joined Bob's team in February, attended my first expo in Las Vegas and fell in love, absolutely fell in love. The energy. So I'm used to going to these small business events that maybe 40 people show up and we have 20 tables that we've rented out for really low because they're small business owners. And everyone kind of sits at their table and waits for people to come by. And that was not what I got at the expo in Vegas. And I think it was Amusement
Expo.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. So the energy in the Amusement Expo was so incredible. There's people who they knew each other from several years of showing up to different expos or doing business together. They would come across and say hi and chat for 20 minutes while they were grabbing people who might be interested in the product that they were standing near. I just absolutely adored that type of mentality and that type of energy. And then seeing Bob kind of work the crowd was super cool. And I could only think like, man, how long is it going to take for me to start like recognizing people and to start, gaining traction in this industry, because everyone seems to have these super long relationships. But I think that that's one of the incredible things about this industry is that those long relationships, the longevity, the trust that's built up over that amount of time is what this industry is built on, is those relationships. So I'm really excited to get to that point where I am the guy that people are like, oh yeah, there goes David. Because I could feel like that's already happening. We went to IATP and I ran into a bunch of individuals individuals that I recognized from Amusement Expo. And then at the Trainertainment, you guys, you know, the class there, I know every single one of those individuals in class. The next time I see them, we will have an awesome interaction. So
That's long relationships is because, like we often say, either you get bitten by the bug of this industry and you're in it for life, you're like you're a lifer, or it's not for you. There's very few in betweens that make it. Either you love it or it's not for you, and you bounce on out pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, and you can absolutely see that. People seem like they find this industry and they stay, which is what I found so far. And I'm absolutely loving it. I pretty much travel 1 week a month to a different city or state, and try to find people who might be able to utilize virtual reality in the gaming world.
Did you love virtual reality before meeting Bob, or is that like a newfound passion since meeting him?
Yeah, a newfound passion since meeting him. Yeah, I think I played a PlayStation VR game one time, where I was inside of a shark cage, and the shark cage fell to the bottom of the ocean, and then you have like this scene that takes place. And I thought that was really cool. And I didn't think of how it might be utilized in other worlds. And then I meet Bob, and I read his book, and I chat with him, and he puts me on to a bunch of the newest games that are coming out, or the newest experiences that are coming out. I have an Oculus, I give it a quick download, and I check it out. I do virtual reality probably 3 hours a day, more than likely. I actually just got through a playthrough of Resident Evil 4, which was my favorite Resident Evil game growing up. I don't remember what console it came out on, but the way that the game is set up is like it's already a third person view. So you have like free roam to go to look wherever you want with the camera angle, and the VR game translated that absolutely perfectly. I get to live in a Resident Evil world. And I think that unlocked a lot of what the possibilities of VR are.
I was just talking to Bob last week, and he is traveling, as you probably know, this week, and he's just traveling with a small computer. And he was talking about how he used his to have 3 computers in his virtual reality world because he was writing something and he couldn't do it on the little screen. So he went into the virtual world, and where he couldn't take his monitors with him, now he had 3 monitors to work off of.
Sick. So sick. And then you see these advancements happening in an industry that I didn't even really know existed. And I'm through the moon with where VR has the potential to go. I'm a homeschooler, so my kids are homeschooled, which was why it was easy to take them to Georgia and then back to Orlando and then into Ocala. We've been homeschooling for the last 6-7 years. And what VR allows for homeschoolers or for homeschool parents, any parents really, you get your kid an Oculus, send them in the Arctic educational world, and they get to explore this entire side of the world that they would have never had a chance to step foot in. And I just think that that's one of the coolest things about virtual reality at the moment. And I think the gamification of virtual reality is simply so that more people get their hands on VR. If more people had great experiences in VR, I think we'd have a lot more people purchasing Oculus, a lot more people investigating the industry as a whole. And who knows who's out there that has these ideas for this medium that doesn't even know VR exists yet. So I think that that's the role that I'm playing, is pseudo VR for the world.
Are you like a guide? You're like the VR guide.
Yeah, but through the gamification of VR. Getting with distributors, getting with guys like Bob who can make a real impact in the industry, to get manufacturers to create the things that are going to be the most profitable, the easiest to use for operators. That way there's mass adoption, And then when people visit their facilities, they see it multiple times, they give it a try, they fall in love. And we have the newest, best game creator in the world who ran into it at your Dave & Buster's or your main event.
I know. And you talked about some of the long relationships and people who were like have been in this industry for years. You had a little bit of a challenge because there was a time that virtual reality was coming and it fell way flat from what people expected of it. And so there's a little bit of distrust out there for the promises that are made with virtual reality. And I'm sure that's one of the obstacles that you have to overcome with some people you speak with.
Oh, most definitely. I can't think of his name right now, but somebody told me, like, every time they receive a call relating to the VR not working the way it should, like, he always says that the VR is a challenging attraction. It comes with sets of challenges, but the rewards heavily outweigh the little bit of challenges that might come with the VR as a whole. And I can tell you that when cell phones first came out, they did not function the way cell phones function now. And a business would not have not gotten cell phones because the challenges that come with the cell phone in the early ages. And I think that that's where we are now, is we're in the Razor flip phone is being transferred into the very first sets of touchscreen.
Remember the sidekick
how that revolutionized that I feel like the sidekicks that were both keyboard and small screen, that was like where we potentially are with VR, where you're getting these advancements very quickly. And you can see model to model how much improvement there has been from previous. So I think that anyone who has a bad taste in their mouth for VR nowadays hasn't had the opportunity to experience the right attractions. Having the right setup, having the right game for the medium they're playing is so very important for all of the different things, motion sickness, the equipment malfunctioning at times. Where you put it, how you use it, and who you have operating it is so very, very important. But if you get those three things, you have so much revenue that's being brought in for something that you paid for a year ago.
Yep, definitely. So you sound pretty excited about this new role. What are you most excited about?
I am most excited. So meeting people is probably one of my favorite things in the entire world, bar none. And in this role, I get to meet way more people than I was meeting in my small town of Ocala. But I still, like, I loved what I was doing in Ocala, going into offices, showing them magic tricks, getting names and phone numbers, and following up with helpful information. I absolutely love doing that. I get to now do that city to city, state to state throughout the US. I cannot wait for the next round of all of these expos that I've gone to. I know names, I know faces. I'm going to be able to go to these people and have those cool conversations about things we talked about last year. I'm so excited for that.
You definitely have one of the best icebreakers of anyone I know with the card tricks.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. I actually developed that. So Sleuth's Mystery Dinner Theater, where I was an actor, I had a magician there, and he would teach me a trick. And if I remembered it, he would teach me one next week. And if I remembered it, he'd teach me one next week. And I completely let magic go. I didn't practice very often. And then I get the job in Ocala where I'm needing to go into offices and kind of that awkward, who is this guy? Is he selling something? And I, after a week of challenging door knocks, I was like, all right, cool. I need something that's going to break the ice before I get there. My afro was not enough. So I used card tricks. I started practicing. I looked up what are really good tricks to do walking around, and I memorized them, and I got a little routine, and I would use that going into offices, and immediately a completely different interaction would happen. And I'm able to do that now at family entertainment centers, who receive it so much better than an office of real estate agents hard at work during the busiest time of the year.
Yes, I'm sure. So does that mean you have a pack of cards in your pocket at all times?
At all times, I have a pack of cards in my pocket.
So funny. It's like you're like keys, phone, gum, cards, check.
I literally, that is my pat down. Keys, phone, wallet, cards. That's hilarious.
So you've had a pretty good progression. It sounds like, people really appreciated your talents along the way. So what has been a failure that you may have had that you've learned the most from?
Yeah. I think that one of the biggest failures that kind of circles in my head all the time, and that I learned something from, is so there was an office here in Ocala that was brand new. Like, I was on my route going to find new real estate agents that I hadn't talked to yet, and I come across this unicorn grand opening real estate office. And I was like, oh, my lucky day. I pull in, they're having a little party, celebrating their grand opening for this new real estate office. And I'm kind of decked out in my home inspector outfit, because I was pitching a home inspector at the time. And I walk in and I have my deck of cards, and immediately they're like, who's this guy? You're not a real estate agent, are you? And I was like, no, I'm here to show you guys a magic trick. And I won the room over. Every single agent was kind of half circled around, all like leaning in for the card trick, like taking my business cards after it was done. I crushed this interaction. I get in my car, I drive home, I update the notes, and I kind of go on with my everyday stuff. Well, one of those real estate agents calls the home inspector, and the home inspector books a time and forgot that he booked the time and didn't show up for the home inspection. So I get a call from this real estate agent saying, where's the home inspector? David, I was counting on you. I didn't call anyone else because I knew you would come through. Where's this guy? Can you do it for me? And I was like, I'm not even a home inspector, man. I just talk about it. And I think, so then getting back to the home inspector, like, he wrote it down, didn't put in the scheduling software, and forgot about it. And I could have followed up. I could have checked the schedule, reviewed the notes, keeping a keen eye on that real estate office, because the guy did tell me he was going to call today for a home inspection later on. I could have followed up, like, I could have stayed on top of it, but I was like, oh, I crushed it. My job's done. Time to move on. And so sorry.
You're good.
And I look back on that day, like, that office no longer uses that home inspector. That is a brand new real estate office. They're going to do so much business over the arc of their business being alive in Ocala, and they will never use that home inspector again because I didn't follow up. If I would have followed up, that would have been every real estate agent in that office talking good about us. Every job they do, they're talking to another real estate agent who they're talking about us to. And I look back on that and I'm like, man, if you would have just followed up, taken the extra 5 minutes to update and follow up, this could have been lifetime revenue for this home inspector that I, take the blame because he is busy. He's got a bunch of things. He's probably in an attic when he got that call. Legitimately. Yes. So I realized at that point that even though you bring the sale all the way to the door, that's not where the role ends. The role is in the follow-up. It's in making sure that client who you got to leave wherever they were before and try your thing is you need to be there for them. You need to be there to answer the phone. You need to be there to make sure that what was promised is being delivered. And I think that I'm so crazy lucky to be attached to Bob, because that is exactly how he feels.
Mhm.
Any product that he endorses, he is willing to put the legwork in to make sure that that thing is doing what he says it might do. And if that's getting on monthly calls, getting on weekly calls, creating training, working with Trainertainment to figure out how to maximize the revenue of the thing he knew would be a revenue grower.
Mhm.
And so I'm very lucky to be working with somebody who agrees with that line of thinking and who's damn good at it.
Yeah, he definitely is. All right. So what do you, we have a signature think tank question here
Okay.
at Trainertainment Think Tank, and we ask every one of our guests, what do you do on a consistent basis to grow yourself?
Yeah. So so in addition to card tricks, and practicing and getting as good as you can at different things that involve cards, and that means watching videos, that means carrying a deck and fiddling with it at all times of the day. That is one of the things that I do very consistently. If you ever see me
Mhm.
standing around and I'm not on LinkedIn or emailing someone back, I am probably doing this card riffle as a kind of fidget move. In addition to that, I'm a dungeon master for Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons is a role-playing game that you use dice to tell a story. And I run a show every Tuesday at 7 o'clock on Twitch. My show is up to episode 7. It's on season 2, believe it or not. So I've already completed a 20 episode arc of my own story that I've written. And then I create this world and kind of the players play in this world. And I think that that is a huge tool to be able to do what I do every day as someone in marketing and sales. I'm going into a new environment, talking to new people, and being able to receive their energy and give them something that is understandable in return is something that I think I get better at being a D&D dungeon master. I am improving for almost 3 hours. Once I have the story written, it's really up to the players to see if that's the story they want to tell. If they want to go left when I want them to go right, we're going left. Like, and there's nothing that I can do about that. So going with the flow and being able to think on your feet is something that I do all the time through Dungeons and Dragons, through card magic. I'm a big proponent of YouTube University. I spend lots of time looking at people who are successful doing what I do or in their fields and
Mhm.
listening to them talk about how they do it and why they do it. So I think those 3 areas, playing Dungeons and Dragons is a big part of it. But practicing my card tricks and YouTube University, I think are things that I consistently do that I think helps me get better and grow as a person.
You definitely share one of Trainertainment's core values. We have a core value of fun, and you definitely have that ingrained in you.
Thank you very much. Actually, at Merlin Entertainments in the first year that I was there, I won they have a core value, and it's like the something something fun award. And I
Mhm.
won the something something fun award.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time today to let us learn a little bit about you.
My
Where can
pleasure.
people find you if they want to connect with you?
Yeah, so LinkedIn is a great place to find me. You can also check out my TikTok, which is the VR guy with the fro. You can find that more than likely just typing in VR guy with the fro. And I actually just posted several clips from Trainertainment's birthday expo, talking about ways that you can improve your birthday parties right now. Like, not tomorrow, not in a week. There's nothing you need that has prep time. Every one of those tips is you can implement today, and it will have an immediate impact on your birthdays tomorrow.
Yes.
So you can go check
Thank
that
you
out.
for
And I
that.
plan on doing, oh, my pleasure.
They're awesome
Um,
tips. He did a great job at making
I
it
got them from you
simple,
guys.
bite
So
size for people. It was awesome.
yeah. So thank you. And I'll be doing that much more. I picked up a copy of Beth's book. I plan on doing a read through of Beth's book and picking out tips from her book. And when we go to IAPA, I'll be doing little video clips about some of the attractions that we're checking out, and maybe little short interviews with people who are walking by if they are brave enough.
Right.
So
You
I
did
think that'd
say
be a great
IAPA.
way.
So you will be at IAPA. People can find you. You'll just be bouncing around there.
When I will be at the Arsenal tent.
Okay.
I will also be splitting time with the Spree Interactive tent.
Okay.
Those are two VR products that you must check out if you are interested in revenue for your facility. Those two are definitely the ones to look at going into 2023.
Awesome. So go meet David, Spree Interactive, our V Arsenal. He'll be I'm sure there's a couple of evening events you may find him at too at IAPA, and welcome him to the industry as he works to learn way more people and faces and names. And you might get lucky and he do a card trick for you.
Yeah, that's your incentive. Come find me and I'll show you a card trick.
Awesome. Well, again, David, thank you for spending time with us today. I know it can be very busy, so we really appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me, Candy. I really appreciate it. You have a beautiful day.
Awesome. Again, I'm so thankful that David decided to come and spend time for our Think Tank Thursday. Be sure to go seek him out at IAPA. Thank you again to our 2022 Think Tank sponsors that you see on the side there. If you have an idea for Think Tank and want to be a guest or would like to sponsor, you know how to find me. Come email me, candy@trainertainment.net, and we will be happy to talk about whatever topic that you're interested in. Or if you want to be a guest and spend some time with me, you can be a guest and spend some time with us. We all know what the next event coming is, and that is going to be IAPA. IAPA is occurring starting in November. If you're going to rookies and newcomers, that will start the weekend before. It starts on November 12th, and then IAPA Expo starts on the 14th, 15th, 16th with education sessions and the trade show. We will be there in booth 4258. You can come meet myself. Beth Stanley will be there. Vivian Conterio will be there, and our brand new director of sales, Jerome Miles, will be there. So come and welcome him back into the industry too. He has some background in the industry and the bowling sector as well. So we will be there. Can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you, everybody. Until next time.
Hi, Beth Stanley here. Listen, I want to personally invite you to join our group sales coaching program. You can jump in anytime, and when you do, I'll autograph a copy of my book, People Buy From People, How to Connect Personally in an Impersonal World. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a quick read and fun, and I'd love to share it with you. Sign up today.
Hello, my name is Brittany Betty, and I am the Regional Sales Director and Business Development Manager over at Betson Enterprises. Here at Betson, we are so excited to be a part of Trainertainment this year. For those of you who are unaware of Betson and what we do, we are the leading distributor of coin-operated equipment, and we are a family-owned business that has been around for 85 plus years. Please take a moment to watch a quick video on an introduction on the phased approach and turnkey solution we can offer you in your facility. Thank you so much for taking the time for watching. And if you have any questions and would like to reach out to me, I can be reached at my email at bbetty, BBETTI, at Betson, BETSON.com. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions or needs you might have in the family entertainment industry, and I would be happy to assist you. Thank you and have a great day.
Are you looking for ways to maximize profits and consolidate systems and processes? Join the Party Center Software and Party Center Pay family. Our suite of solutions makes it easy for you to run your family entertainment center or event business. Our online party booking system makes booking parties and events a breeze. Our point of sale system, digital waivers, and reports will help you simplify steps for your staff and make your guest experience seamless. Our online store allows you to sell products, gift certificates, and other services anytime, even when you're sleeping. But it doesn't end there. All of the solutions mentioned connect with our payment processing platform, Party Center Pay, making it easier than ever to manage your business. Not only can Party Center Pay save you money by cutting out extraneous fees, but Party Center Pay makes it easy to take online deposits or full payments, and we even have a contactless payment option. Paired with our incredible support team and dedicated customer success managers, growing and managing your business has never been easier. Schedule a call with us today to learn more.
My wife and I, this is a partnership with her and I, so we both agreed that, in creating Scary Strokes, that we want to make sure that we have the best available of everything. Embed just seemed like the perfect fit. Like, it was pretty streamlined and had the point of sales and the software for the redemption, and it just seemed, natural to us. So we've been with Embed since the very beginning. And so when Embed, it was introducing the mobile wallet, it seemed like a good opportunity for us to jump on, and it's wonderful. I mean, you reload your card from it, you redeem your tickets from it. There's nothing not to like about it. I mean, it's very convenient. It's very clever for sure.
Empowering your employees to manage your redemption area with confidence can be a challenge. The redemption counter is often the last stop your customers make before leaving your facility. That's why we do everything we can to help your staff make that experience one worth returning for. Our service packages allow you to reap the benefits of expertise and customer support, no matter where your business is in its maturity. The Advanced and Pro Service Bundles are unmatched by any other redemption provider in the industry. They allow you to get the support you need when you need it. Gain confidence in your redemption program, knowing your employees are taking advantage of benefits like exclusive redemption training, regular planogram refreshes, product performance and spending reports, and much more. All accessible from an online portal customized to your business. Learn more at services.redemptionplus.com.